Hey, South Georgia. Now I'm here with Dougherty's interim head coach, Joyner. Thank you so much for joining me here at Beyond the Whistle. We're going to talk about, y'all's upcoming game on Friday. You're going into region play.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's your confidence at? You guys are 3-2. The 2 losses were pretty brutal.
Yes, they were.
But just talk to me about the season up to now and your confidence going into Friday.
Confidence is up. We've been putting together some great practices. Our young quarterback is coming around, and he's looking better every day. So I'm riding high right now, confidence-wise.
Yeah, and this team has undergone a lot of changes. Head coaching change at the last minute. Your star player, Kam Davis, was hurt. From your perspective as a coach, has this team adapted well to that change?
They have. They have adapted better than most teams would with the change, and I tried to make sure that I didn't, make a lot of wholesale changes myself coming in as the interim coach, and I tried to keep a lot of things that Coach Gilbert had in place because it wasn't broke, what Coach Gilbert was doing. So I didn't try to fix any of that, just, trying to get my little things in here and there, but not trying to make a whole lot of change. And guys like Maurice and Kam, they accepted me, and once they showed their approval, the rest of the team just came on in with them.
When Kam was hurt and when y'all's star player went down, from a coach's perspective after that game, what was that conversation like, and what were those emotions and feelings having to get basically a brand new game plan?
First of all, you feel for the player because you know the work that he put in, and you hoping that he get to show the work that he's put in, and then the next thing is you think about that we lost Superman. We lost our Superman, and it hurt us 2 ways. Kam is our punter, and he's our quarterback, and we turned the ball over punting and at the quarterback spot, so it hurt us both ways. But the 2 guys that had to step in, they're getting better and better as the week goes on, so it's kind of a good thing. He might not have to punt anymore, but we sure want him back at the quarterback spot.
Freshman David Burgess replaced Kam. And he's just a freshman. He's 6'3". He's a good size, but he's still a freshman. And, with Kam starting all 4 years, he really hadn't had a whole lot of varsity experience. So talk to me about him, despite the scoreboard against Stockbridge and Hattville. Despite the scoreboard, what has impressed you about his performance so far, and what are your takeaways?
He has grown a lot in the past 2 weeks. He's been going hard in practice and weight room and film study. He's coming around, and it seems like every day he's getting a little bit better at small things that he wasn't doing right. So he's working hard, and he wants to do it. He wants to show Kam that he could play that position too. That's who we really trying to prove it to. He ain't trying to prove it to nobody else but Kam. And I understand why he looks up to him a lot. And Kam has been instrumental in talking to him, keeping him calm on the sideline, and that's big for him too. But he's gonna play. I think he's gonna play real good this weekend because we got some things that we put in that he can do. That's the biggest thing.
What are his greatest strengths that you've really noticed that he's really good at, and how do you plan to capitalize on that? Not just with a freshman quarterback going into region time, but also a relatively young team.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, that the team is so young. There's nobody that he can really lean on out there because we got sophomores and freshmen on the field right now. So the biggest thing about David is he got a cannon for an arm, and I know we haven't been able to see it because he's been thrown to the wrong team. He's gonna do fine this week, and you would be able to see some of the things and some throws that he can make, and the game has slowed down for him a lot. It was moving so fast against Hateville and the other team that we lost to, and you could see that it slowed down against Terrell. And he made some plays right there. And he can run. He actually can run the ball pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that Kam getting hurt was a good thing. It's a bad thing. We never want anybody to get hurt, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is sometimes it's almost like everything happens for a reason because, yes, Kam got hurt this year. He's supposed to be here this year, but he's also definitely not going to be here next year. And David's going to have to step in for the next however many, 3 years, whatever. So are you confident going into next year with the fact that he's already getting to see the field this year before it's truly, truly his time to shine?
I am, and I'm happy for him because now we're going to next year and we know what he can do. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things gonna have to change offensively because we're going from the number one running back in the nation at quarterback to a guy that really won't play quarterback in the future. Mm-hmm. David's not gonna play anything else after high school. He's gonna be a quarterback going forward. So it's good. It's a good thing that it's not a good thing Kam got hurt, but it's a good thing that he got pushed into that fire. Really.
Yeah. And talk to me about Maurice Davis. He's committed to Ole Miss. He's been a huge asset for you guys on defense. So really talk to me about that and, his performance so far this season and how big of an asset is he to you guys?
He makes us go. He got a motor that don't stop. He's always upbeat. He practiced harder than anybody I've ever seen. And our defense is relatively older guys, and they get after it. And Maurice is one of the reasons why these guys have been playing good. We gave up 40 points in a game, and the defense only gave up 14. Mm-hmm. But we gave them up when those holes we couldn't fill at Kam. But Maurice and those guys, they kept grinding, and they've been positive the whole entire time. Even with the freshman quarterback, they've been positive, and they could have tanked it on us, but they stayed positive, and they want to keep fighting until our offense turning around, which I hope will happen this week.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna have a good game plan for Chris County.
Yeah. Going into Friday, both of y'all and Chris County are looking for that fourth win. What are those challenges you've seen from film that you guys are going to have to capitalize on Friday in order to take home the win?
Well, the first thing is take care of the ball. We can't turn over the ball because Chris County, they live off of that. They make you turn that ball over. They tackling the ball, trying to strip it out, and they do a good job of just game time. It's Chris County. Chris County, for years, they've been good on defense. They got a couple of defense players in the league right now.
Yeah. One's coming back on Friday, too.
He retired his jersey. So they just been good for years and years on defense, and they still got those long, rangy guys that can run, and they will knock the crap out of it.
Yeah.
So we just got to be ready to take care of the football and put the ball into place, try to get our guys in space and let our athletes do their job.
And I said that was my last question, but this is really my last question. What has that offensive line been like this year? No, they have to protect David because he's a freshman quarterback. You have to protect your quarterback anyways, but specifically someone who doesn't have as much experience. What's been that talk to that offensive line, not just going into Friday, but, the entire season?
Well, with our offensive line, they got to take more on now. We got to get our run game going to protect David from, having to throw the ball 20 and 30 times a game. So if we can get on the ground and get our run game going, that's going to help out David a lot. And just like you say, protecting him, not having all the people in the pocket when he's trying to make throws. But he got to learn too as a quarterback to stay in that pocket and make those throws and see what he needs to see. I think he's done a great job this week, and he's really learned to trust those guys, that those guys are going to do their job. And that was the biggest thing for David, is to learn to trust the people around him. And now he's getting that trust in our O-line, and they've been positive with him too, and they want him to do well. So it's a good thing that, like I said earlier, that he got pushed into this thing, because most of our O-line, 4 out of the 5 will be back next year. So
which is huge.
That's huge within itself, and that's a great thing that he's gonna be comfortable with them, and then we'll really be going forward.
Is there anything else you want to mention or say about Friday or the season in general?
Not really.
Thank you so much for being here with me, Coach. All right, now Maurice is going to take the hot seat. All right, South Georgia, now I am here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Maurice Davis, star defensive end for Dougherty County. So, we're going into region on Friday. It's week 7,
So,
How has this season been overall for you, despite the coaching change, despite losing Kam? How's the season been for you?
overall, the season been great for me. It's still been great for me. I've still been doing my part on defense and stuff like that.
Yeah, and going into Friday, we talked a little off camera that, offensively, Chris County, you mentioned that their quarterback really has a target on his back for you guys. Talk to me about y'all's defensive game plan in the best that you possibly can going into this game on Friday?
The defensive plan is to keep him in the pocket and make sure you don't escape the pocket.
Mm-hmm. And as far as your, I wouldn't say mentality, but I guess you can say mentality. You know, this is your last first region game in a Trojan uniform ever. So does it feel different? Is the mentality different going into, you know, region time? The season's slowly coming to an end. Or not slowly, quickly coming to an end.
Yeah,
So,
no, it feel the same to me, like just playing football every day, every game, playing football.
yeah. And we've talked about the challenges that you guys have faced. Y'all are a relatively young team. You're considered one of the leaders on this team. You're a senior. You perform great on Friday nights. You're committed to Ole Miss. A lot of these kids look up to you. A lot of your teammates do. So how really have you been able to stay positive despite the last-second coaching change? And then Kam, one of your good friends, and someone you've grown up with and who's been, you know, basically y'all's offense this entire season. How have you managed to stay positive?
We just stay positive, just like the next man up and just keep rolling.
Yeah. And you're committed to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that whole process and why Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, I choose Ole Miss because they had like a great game atmosphere and like before pre-game atmosphere, all that. And the coaches, they're great coaches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And talking to them, why do you think that it's such a great fit for you considering your position and their defensive strategy?
Because they put dudes like me in the league before and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. On defense, who's really, you know, obviously besides yourself, who's really impressed you this year? As far as, you know, the younger classmen, freshmen, sophomores, or it could be a junior too, but who's really impressed you the most this year on defense and why?
I'd say my free safety, Quay Hallman, because like it just been different for him this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hit different this year, faster, he covering space more this year.
Mm-hmm. And considering, you know, when Kam was at quarterback, offense was on the field longer. This year, you know, especially with a lot of turnovers and a lot of things that just have happened, you know, defense has had so much more playing time during the games, these past few games. So has that been really an adjustment for you, having to stay on the field a lot longer and play a lot longer and still try to keep points off the board a lot longer than what you're normally used to?
Oh yeah, so it's been a bit different. Like defense been running way more at practice and stuff, so we can be in shape for games like that.
Yeah, and how has it been? You know, have you really had a chance to talk to David? Even though you play on defense, he's still your teammate. Mm-hmm. Have you really had a chance to talk to him and, you know, really kind of encourage him and motivate him since now he's QB1 until maybe Kam comes back, maybe he doesn't. We don't really know. That's up in the air. Have you really had a chance to talk to him? And if so, what'd you say to him and how's that conversation been?
I'm always talking to him. Every practice I'm talking to him. Like, if he messing up, I'm telling him what he did wrong and what he did right and, like, get better every day. Yeah.
And Kam is now on the sidelines. But do y'all still have that same, you know, camaraderie still? What's the vibe and what's the energy been like from Kam?
Oh yeah, it's been nothing but great energy. Like he be talking trash on the side and I be talking back to him. It's just been a great vibe. So.
Yeah. And since this is your senior year, it's a very bittersweet year, you know. It's the last time you're ever gonna wear a Trojan football uniform. And so with that, do you have any goals set for yourself? It can be in football, it can be out of football, but do you have any goals set for yourself up until, you know, you graduate going into college?
I have one goal. I want to pass my college classes that I'm taking this year so I can graduate a bit early enrollment.
Oh, you're planning to early enroll?
Yeah.
What all went into that decision?
It was a lot. Like gaining weight was one. Mm-hmm. Just catching on to like college early. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to say?
No.
All right, cool. Thanks so much for being here.
Yep.
Yay! Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on all my social medias to keep up with future episodes of Beyond the Whistle. See you guys next time.